महेंद्र सिंग धोनीची पत्रकार परिषद आता सुरू झालेली आहे. आपण थेट जाऊया या पत्रकार परिषदेत.
The captainship part, I think the wicketkeeper is always a vice captain of the side, irrespective of whether he's the announced vice captain or not. One thing is there that the field setting is usually given to the vice captain or the wicketkeeper. In this scenario, I'll have to keep a close eye as to what the skipper really wants, as to what are his preferential field positions. When I was the captain and the wicketkeeper, I always knew what I wanted, where I could keep the fielder. So, I already had this chat with Virat as to how he likes his fielders, where he wants them to be, because that will have to change in the sense, I'll have to be more aware about, okay, these are the like in whether he wants the short third fine or he wants it slightly wider, because different people, have different opinions on how they want to use a particular fielder. I was always somebody who liked the, if you have a short third or a short fine, I always preferred it closer to me, so that it's slightly more difficult for the batsman. He has to play a shot to get it through the right side of the fielder. So, all of that, I'll have to adapt. But overall, I don't think much changes. I'll be there to give as many suggestions as possible to Virat as and when required. And the field positioning is something I'll have to keep a close eye. I can't just freely on my own, you go left, you go right, I'll have to consult him, tell him, because if it's strategically positioned in a particular place, it can become a bit of a problem, because if I start moving around. But it's not something that's a big trouble to cope up with. It's just that I'll have to keep a close eye, especially in the first few games, maybe a couple of games where I can read the field positioning and everything and use it, from their point.
What do you think were the high points of your captaincy? Any regrets as captain?
No, I don't regret anything in life, because what has happened has happened. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. As far as, the good things are concerned, there are plenty of good things that happen. It's very difficult to pick and say, okay, these were the difficult parts or these were the parts where I really enjoyed it. Overall, it has been a journey for me, the ups and the downs, right from when I started. I went through the good period, I went through the tough period. When I started, there were a lot of senior players in the side, and as we progressed, there was a time when the senior players had to leave, and we had to make sure that the transition is smoother. And also what really happens at that point of time is you try to groom the youngsters so that they start to perform very quickly. The only good thing is, if you see over the period, once the seniors left us and the juniors came into the side, from that point till now, it's the same juniors who have started to do well. We invested in them, and over the period, they started proving that they are the ones, who will take the legacy forward when it comes to Indian cricket. So, that was a very satisfying thing to see. But overall, it was a journey that I really enjoyed, and it's something that brings a smile on your face. Whether it's the tough periods or the the winning periods, but overall it's a journey that's more important. Well, we have been very close, right from the start. The best part about Virat is right from when he got a chance to play. In Indian cricket, more often than not, we have seen a lot of cricketers say, when they get 5 games, and if they are out of the side, they're always worried about the 2 games they didn't get. But Virat was always somebody, he wanted to improve whatever chances he got. He wanted to do well in those games, and I think that's the reason why he's so successful right now. He always wanted to contribute more. If he scores a 60 or a 70, he was somebody who wanted to score 100, who wanted to be there at the crease, if India they are chasing, or if we are setting a big score. So I felt that was the key factor for Virat, and right from the start we have interacted a lot. And he has improvised his cricket at the same time, his thinking and everything. So I feel with more responsibility on him, he will keep getting better. And now with leading the test side for more than a year now and playing a lot of matches, ODI is slightly easy format. Okay, you may have to take quick decisions at times, but still compared to the test format, it's an easier format to captain. So my job will be to assist him wherever it's needed, give him the whatever I have as my thoughts from behind the stump, reading the batsman as to, how they are batting, what their strengths are, how the bowler is bowling, because that's something that is a real asset of a wicket keeper. He sees the whole game in front of him, the bounce of the wicket, the lines that the bowlers are bowling, whether the batsman is playing good shots or the bowler is bowling bad delivery. So, from my side, it will be, flowing of information and, giving him as much information as possible, information that doesn't really confuse him, keep it very simple. And, ultimately he'll have to pick and choose as to, these are the options that he would want to like. And I feel the kind of relation we have got, what's brilliant is, if I go up with 100 ideas to him, he's comfortable saying no to all of them, because that's what his responsibility is, to pick and choose what he is really convinced about. And I feel that kind of relationship is very important, because I shouldn't feel, okay, if I'm saying something that should happen, and he shouldn't feel as if, whatever is coming from my side, has to be implemented, because he has to take the responsibility of whatever decisions he is making. So the more I can serve to him, the more he can pick and choose, the better it will be for our cricket.